Hello everyone, this is just a quick update on this CVBS to HDMI converter. Previously I had taken a USB-C receptacle, added a proper pull-down resistor, put it here so it could be powered by USB-C, effectively replacing this mini USB Type B port. Now, that only makes it easier to find a cord, so now I'm putting an actual LiPo in here. This is a 1 amp hour lithium ion polymer battery, which I took out of this battery pack, which I found at Goodwill and bought for super cheap at the bins. Took it apart, 2 cells in here, soldered together. Here's one of them. So, under here is a small little charge control board. It's incredibly small. It has a switching boost and buck. It's like a buck boost converter. What it does is it takes around 35 microamps quiescent current, takes the 3.7 volts and boosts it to 5 volts onto this bus. And same bus is USB Type C. So when you plug it in, it switches over and switches to charging the battery. Then when you unplug power, switches back. Now the battery is being boosted to 5 volts. So here what I have set up is I have the battery hooked to the battery line and this power interface, which I soldered in. This capacitor is like filtered. I can trace it from here. This filtering capacitor, or it might be a decoupling, sorry. Whatever it is, the 5 volt line goes right here. So when this is unplugged, or when the switch is disconnected, all this is just a USB-C receptacle to power it. When the switch is on, one of two things is happening. Either the LiPo powers this guy, or if it's plugged in, this guy gets powered and the LiPo gets charged. So I managed to get this whole thing in there. So first I super glued down the board, which I had previously hooked up these magnet wires to. Then I put in the battery, being careful to make sure it fit, which is a very tight fit. The battery soldered on, and then it goes through the switch. So then if I turn it on, now that blue light goes on to indicate that it is boosting it to 5 volts. And then if I have it on, I can plug in this guy. Oh, I have to turn my power supply on. Then it switches, and the green, I think that indicates that it's done charging. I'm not sure. This is the first time I've used this module before, besides just some initial testing, but here you go, and then I'll put it back together and show you. And here's what it looks like. Input, output, and then on the back we have a Type C port. Come on, focus. Whatever, there you go. A Type C port and a switch. So you put this guy off and nothing happens. Then you can power it through this guy. Or if you go on, now the blue light indicates that it is being powered. And then if I plug it in, the green indicates that it's actively charging and that it's a completed charge cycle. So if I have it off at this point in time, now the green is because there's currently no battery hooked up. So it sees it as no current draw, full charge. The power is just going directly into the device. Okay, I've got this hooked up here. This is my Calci KWS-X1. Currently I have the switch set to off. So I've plugged it in. It should draw around 250 milliamps or 1.25 watts. That's the power draw of this device. Now, if I switch it over to the on mode, let me get my, let's see if I can do this on camera. Okay, now we're at 870 milliamps. We get the green, 830, and presumably this will just drop until it completes the charge cycle. So in this case, I'm not sure what the green means. Perhaps it's just indicating that it is being charged, or maybe a solid green is different. We'll see. Here we can see a real example. I figured it out. When the green light stops blinking, that indicates the end of a charge cycle. So here I unplugged it, plugged it back in. It's starting. That's the constant voltage section. Because this is just set to 1 minute, you can't really see, but it is creating that current dropout, and there you go. The green light stops blinking and the charge cycle is terminated, and you can see this 259. That's the one that's not even passing through, just parallel to the little charge board and going just directly into the device. There we go. This works now. I can use the Atari and I don't have to go fumbling with like a power bank, or because it's always hard to find an outlet, because you know you got the Atari, the TV, all that. So if I'm going setting it up in the backyard or something, this will be a bit easier. And I have the opposite, an HDMI to CVBS adapter and that TM70 UHF modulator, and both of those I'm hoping to do something similar to this, maybe strapping it on the outside as opposed to putting it on the inside, because this was quite a bit of work, but it looks quite nice in my opinion. There is this hole in the back, which, oh well, I don't really mind. And then there's space under it, but I don't really care. And this is done. Thank you for watching. Drop questions in the comments. Of course, I'll try and reply. So, yeah, have a good day. Keep hacking.